The Israelites had escaped Egypt, but now they were trapped. Sea in front, Pharaoh's army behind. The thunder of chariots grew louder. Fear swept through the people. They cried out to Moses, "Why did you bring us here to die?" Moses stood firm. He remembered God's promise. "Do not be afraid," Moses declared. "Stand firm and see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today." The people fell silent, hope flickering in their eyes. Moses turned toward the sea, trusting God would make a way. The Israelites waited, caught between terror and hope. The army closed in, but Moses lifted his hands, believing in God's rescue. The impossible seemed near, but Moses' faith planted courage in their hearts. The people watched, breathless, as Moses faced the roaring sea. Would God save them now? The moment hung in the air, trapped, but not forgotten. The Israelites' story was about to change forever. The sea waited, the army thundered, and hope began to rise. Moses stepped forward, ready for God's miracle. The people braced themselves for what would come next. The edge of the sea became the edge of a new beginning. All eyes were on Moses and on the God who saves. Moses raised his staff over the water. Moses raised his staff over the water. Moses raised his staff over the water. A mighty wind from God swept in, roaring through the night. The sea split. Walls of water rose on each side. A dry path appeared. The Israelites stared in awe, a miracle unfolding before them. Moses called, "Go!" and the people stepped onto the seabed. They walked between shimmering walls of water, fish darting beside them. The path was dry, safe, a way only God could make. Families hurried forward, hearts pounding with wonder and fear. Behind them, Pharaoh's army prepared to follow. The Israelites pressed on, trusting the path would hold. God had made a door in the sea, a way out of danger. The impossible had become real. Step by step, they moved toward freedom. The miracle surrounded them, God's power on every side. The sea, once a barrier, was now their rescue. The journey through the water had begun. Hope led them forward, deeper into God's promise. The Israelites walked in a long line, surrounded by walls of water. Children gazed up in amazement. Parents hurried them along. Every step took them farther from fear, closer to freedom. Pharaoh's army thundered after them, chariots racing onto the path. But God was with his people. The Egyptians' chariot wheels jammed, stuck in the mud. Panic spread through the soldiers. God was fighting for Israel. The Israelites pressed on almost to the other side. The army struggled, trapped by the very path meant for escape. God's power protected his people, slowing their enemies. The Israelites reached the far shore, hope turning to relief. Behind them, the Egyptians were caught in God's trap. The miracle path was nearly complete. The people looked back, hearts pounding, waiting for what God would do next. The sea still stood, a wall of God's might. Freedom was just a few steps away. As the last Israelite stepped onto dry land, God spoke to Moses. Moses stretched out his hand over the sea. The wind stopped. The walls of water crashed down. The sea swallowed Pharaoh's army. Chariots, horses, soldiers, all gone. The path vanished. The danger was over. The Israelites stood safe on the shore, free at last. Joy erupted, singing, dancing, praise to God. Miriam led the women in song. "Sing to the Lord, for he is highly exalted. Both horse and driver he has hurled into the sea." The people celebrated their rescue, never forgetting God's power. They were no longer slaves, but God's free people. The sea that trapped them became the sea that saved them. God had kept his promise. The Israelites' fear turned to faith. Their story became a song of deliverance. The miracle at the sea would be told for generations. God had made a way where there was none. The people rejoiced, forever changed by God's rescue. Their journey to freedom had truly begun.